Phil Daoust has worked his way back to an NHL deal for the upcoming season and back for what, year number 6, I think, now here with the Sens. Good to see you, Phil. Congrats on the deal, pal.
Yeah, thanks. Means a lot. Pumped to be back in 613 country, and just pumped. Yeah, super exciting, and glad to be back on a two-way, and looking forward to it.
We'll get to the contract in a minute, but how have you been spending the last few months since we chatted last at exit interviews?
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Just back home in Barrie, and been working out a ton. Been skating. Been skating in Barrie. Been skating in Muskoka with Gags a little bit. So, yeah, just been same old me. Just golfing a ton as well, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, how have those skates up in Muskoka been going? Obviously, Sam Gagner's a nice piece of the player development puzzle here with the Senators now, and you get to kind of extend that practice time and learning time with him as well.
Yeah, it's great. Obviously, they got a really good group up there. All a lot of NHLers up there, and Gags is a obviously I don't know how many games he's played in the NHL, but just super pumped to have him, in my corner, and obviously just around me, so I can pick his brain as much as I can because he's obviously done a lot of good in the NHL, and he's obviously got just a really good brain. So yeah, just happy to have him around me and skating with him.
Chatting with the Senators forward Phil Daoust, who's coming off a career season with the Belleville Senators last year, and again coming off an AHL contract and back onto an NHL two-way. Tell us a little bit about that process and just the feeling, I suppose, of earning that NHL contract again.
Yeah, obviously feels pretty good. Thought I had a really strong year last year, and I think management thought the same. I think we were both on the same page. I really wanted to be back. I love Ottawa. I love Belleville. So, I think it was a mutual decision. I think we were both in agreement that I think I earned that two way contract, and obviously, the next step for me is to try to make that jump to the NHL, and I feel like I'm really close. So, obviously, going to pick a lot of people's brains to try to find a way to do that, and need to have a big summer. And I feel like I'm on the right track right now.
Well, and you should have a few more, high-skilled forwards as well to learn from and play with. What have you thought about the moves that Steve Staios and Matt Turek and company have been making here early on in free agency?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? A lot of moves have happened already, and it's only been a few days into free agency. So it's obviously really good to see. I think a lot of skill has been brought in, and whether that's in Ottawa or Belleville, I think all the players that they brought in so far are players who can make that jump, and it's going to make Belleville and Ottawa really good teams. So Tomasino and Suzuki grew up playing against them a little bit, and they're both very skilled players, and they work hard. So. I think they definitely match our DNA of working hard every day and obviously giving it 110. So I think they're great pieces to add.
From the fans' perspective, we always get excited when we see these names, players like that get signed and think about the difference that it could make come the, start of the season. How much do these signings kind of motivate you guys as players as well to know, hey, it really does seem like there is intent, I suppose, in signing
Yeah.
these high quality players.
Yeah, 100%. I think, the intention behind, Steve and Matt is obviously they want to be competitive, obviously in the NHL. They're trying to compete for a Stanley Cup. And for us, we want to be competitive, I think, in Belleville as well. So I think, those signings that they brought in, they're very skilled, very good players who have a good amount of pro experience as well. So I think, they brought in the intention to, make playoffs and go deep into playoffs, right? So, we weren't satisfied. Obviously, we didn't get the result we wanted in not making playoffs last year. But I think this year, obviously, with the moves that they made so far and bringing those players in, bringing myself back in, I think we're going to be a very competitive team, and we're gonna go for a long run this year.
Behind the bench, big change as well with Andrew Campbell getting a 3-year contract extension as the head coach of this team. Obviously, he did a really good job with you guys through the second half of last year. What's the reaction to seeing Soup get extended? And again, from that player's perspective, what's it like to have a guy who is, still pretty fresh from his playing career, I guess, a la Gags as well, to be
Yeah.
able to kind of lead this group?
Yeah, obviously super pumped that he's back. I've always said a lot of good things about Soup, and I think he's a very good player coach. He loves to develop the players, and really easy guy to talk to, and a really easy guy to pick his brain. And he's like you just said, himself and Gags. They're just recently retired. They haven't been out of the game for very long, so I think that does bring a good perspective and good outlook for the team. And they're honest, but they're also very good at developing players, and they know still how the game's played, which is a huge thing. And I think Soup Soup for myself, he's been very straight up with me, very honest with me, and obviously given me a lot of opportunity. And I can't say thank you enough to him. And just pumped that he's back, and looking forward to working with him again. And hopefully I don't see him. Hopefully I'll be in Ottawa, but I think he hopes the same for me. But yeah, just pump for him to get a real shot this year, and I know he's going to do great with it.
All right, a couple more questions here. You've been around this team again a long time. We're going into our 10th season this year, and season number 6 for you. If you think back on those first 5 years as a member of the Belleville Senators, are there any moments that come back to you? Anything that maybe you think of more frequently than other moments in your career?
Yeah, I think obviously just the guys that they've always brought in. I think they've brought in always a really good leadership group of guys, and a veteran group of guys that definitely lead the way in the right way for the younger guys. I had a lot of good leaders for me. Dylan Hetherington and just recently Garrett Pilon. I think both those guys. They taught me a lot, and very just good guys. But also I think since my first year in Belleville, even to the last year, I think just the fans, I think they're always very supportive. They're always showing up to the games. Just pumped to be back, and love the fans. Looking forward to continue to build a relationship with them.
And there'll be plenty of time to do that as well. But before we let you go, what do the next couple of months look like? Again, the season's starting, a week or two earlier now. Camp's going to be on us before we know it. How will you spend the next couple of months in preparation for that?
Yeah, just working hard. Obviously, just being in the gym consistently, and skating a ton with Gags. And I think for me, like I got a little golf trip actually this weekend coming up. I'm going to Nova Scotia Cabot Cliffs for
Oh,
for a
nice.
few days with my brother and my cousins. So looking forward to that. But after that, I think it's going to be pretty low key for me. Just sticking around here, and just making sure I'm ready for camp, because yeah, I'm definitely counting the days. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we all certainly are, and we're all pumped to have you back in the fold as well. Phil Daoust sends forward. Have fun on your trip. We'll see you when camp opens in a couple months.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for having me.